A lot of times this happens to me, but as I've said many times in the past, it would only happen a couple times a year. Now it's happening every couple days, sometimes several times per day, where I'm looking at admissions, I'm looking at government statements, I'm looking at confirmed info. And it's so over the top that I can't believe that it isn't bringing this criminal government completely down and restoring our republic. We've seen the former head of Defense Intelligence and 3 other generals in the last 2 months, 2.5 months, go public and say, our government created ISIS. We've been ordered to support them. We've been ordered to fund them. It's horrible. It's illegal. It's criminal. I don't know why the president's doing this. It's hurting U.S. interest. It's immoral. And then you see the Huffington Post and New York Magazine and the New York Times and the LA Times, and it's the headline, top generals say we screwed up and helped create ISIS. No, there was no screwing up. These generals have said specifically they were ordered to do this and it was wrong. That alone is just so nakedly sensational that it makes my head spin. There's the headline. Former DI director, U.S. made willful decision to support ISIS in Syria. And why is that important? Well, it's not just immoral. It's not just evil. It's not just wrong. It doesn't just destabilize things. But they've been caught doing it. And where are the congressional hearings? Well, most of the Republican leadership is involved in all this just as much as Obama is. Just as much as Hillary is. Well, not as much as Hillary. She actually ran it herself hands-on, so that's not correct. No one's more involved than Hillary, excuse me. Just a fact. So we have General Michael Flynn, all these others coming out. And then I have articles like this one out of Defense One putting out disinfo to the public saying, look, the U.S. is funding billions to fight ISIS, and then it lists the groups, and almost every group on there is admittedly running and funding and giving the weapons to ISIS, including Saudi Arabia, that just got $24 billion since last year. This is truly sick. This is how illiterate politically the public is that they could get away with stuff like this. I mean, this is crazy. And I can't believe, where are the so-called liberals? I mean, if George Bush was trying stuff like this, they would have been pulling their hair out and running down the street naked screaming, and they should have. Bush was doing some really bad stuff, and I was against it, and I was speaking out against it, and was called a communist by neocon publications. I'm not a communist. I'm an American. I don't support war crimes. I don't support destabilizing countries and overthrowing our allies and mass murdering people and torture and all the rest of it. Because none of it's done to begin with to protect us, and it's immoral. Now, I say that because that's just one example of a story this year that's so naked. We now have these reports from, again, the Daily Caller. We had Tucker Carlson on yesterday, and I was real nice to him. And some people email me or ask me, hey, you used to bash Tucker Carlson when he was at MSNBC and then some at Fox. Well, that's because he was more of a mainline libertarian conservative then. The work he does at Daily Caller is really groundbreaking every day. And so I, as I said, I admire the Daily Caller, and I admire his reporters, and I admire him getting more hardcore. You know, we got to get to the point where when people start coming over to our side and start to get more realistic and start to get more bold, to not then just run them off because sometime back in the past they weren't perfect. I'm here to win this war against the globalist, not sit up here like a Pharisee or some pontiff, you know, who's arrogantly saying, I have all the answers and everybody else can just go to hell. I used to be ignorant, folks, 20 plus years ago. I was a mainline Republican / libertarian. But Ron Paul was my radicalizer to a great extent. And look, I'm radical compared to Ron Paul today. And yes, we are radicalizing Donald Trump. I'll just leave it at that. I'm not going to give the Washington Post, the New York Times, or others who've been calling me a quote on Inside Baseball, but I'm here to win. I'm here to take action. I'm here to try to really set brush fires in the minds of men and women to want to have liberty. And did I like the Donald Trump of 10 years ago? Not so much. Do I like the one of today? Yes. And it's a process of waking people up. The climate has changed. People are choosing sides right now. And we've got to basically realize we could defeat the globalists. We could overthrow their system and restore freedom. But the bought and paid for churches and government systems tell you things are only going to get worse. It's a foregone conclusion. Submit to tyranny. That's the way it is. Assume a fetal position. Stick a thumb in your mouth. Stick the other one someplace else. That should be the new national flag. A person in a fetal position sucking their thumb and sitting on the other one with a pink rainbow. And Caitlyn Jenner hoisting the flag on a pile of dead babies at Planned Parenthood. I mean, seriously, this is not who we are. All we've got to do is advertise the Americana culture that's still there up against this globalist death culture, and it's game over. People want prosperity. They want freedom. They want men to be men, women to be women. They want people to have fun. Work hard, play hard, to quote Ted Nugent. That's what folks want, and we're sick of it. Women want men that wear pants.
Another GOP debate is upon us, a time to see how much attention will be allotted to establishment candidates who are dragging in the polls.
These are Republican governors. They don't give any credit to the free market. They don't give any credit to the entrepreneur.
All is not lost, though. Some are speaking on real issues.
But if you're not going to respond in a no-fly zone strategy, what would yours be?
The first thing I would do is I wouldn't arm our enemies. I wouldn't arm ISIS.
Yes.
Will controversial statements impact some of the candidates?
Donald J. Trump is calling for a total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States until our country's representatives can figure out what the hell is going on.
Join InfoWars this Tuesday, December 15th, starting at 7 p.m. Central for another episode of Political Science Theater 3K.
A clean, toxic-free body is the foundation of true health. Introducing Deep Cleanse by InfoWarsLife.com, a scientifically formulated blend of nanocolloidal zeolites and organic ingredients that aid the body in cleansing chemicals and toxic metals. We use only the highest quality organic herbs backed by serious research, and we still bring it to you at the best price out there. If you wish to find Deep Cleanse and experience the all-in-one cleansing, visit InfoWarsLife.com. That's InfoWarsLife.com or call 888-253-3139.